I'm a very inquisitive person by nature. I love stories, real life stories, reading biographies and hearing about what makes successful people tick. I wanted to sit with individuals who inspire you and I, look into their core beliefs, habits and life journey and purpose. We're currently in a world of social media where everyone is putting their best on display. I want people to let us know what it's really like when you feel like you're not winning. What sacrifices have they had to make in order to win? I hope their stories will inspire, encourage and motivate you not to give up on your dreams. We are going to be digging deep on My Story with Esther. Because I remember Nice. Remember when we did Nice's video?
Nice is my boy.
Yeah, and then he said,
he used to sit and watch
I learned to speak English
by watching me every Saturday. I know.
And I just thought that was a proud moment for me for him to actually say that to you, and then to say that we need more people like you on the TV screens now, because journalism is not the same. I think. I don't know. I don't watch Nigerian TV.
Everything's so glitchy. Everywhere in the world, not even Nigeria alone.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, that's why I get to go to the US and I'm going to the Bahamas.
Yeah.
It's just to encourage and teach their young generation of media practitioners so that we can all continue to do it right.
Yeah. But that you were 18.
I was 17.
17. So because you're royal, and I was looking at can you tell me what this is called again? I know, Princess, don't tell me off. I should know this.
Irukere. Iru means tail.
Okay.
Irukere.
Yeah. And what does the rest of it mean? If Iru is tail, what does kere mean?
I have no idea.
Okay.
That's what it's called. Just for you to be able to remember.
Irukere. And then you blinked it up, but then you were telling me that obviously your dad gave this to you and he was what? He was a king?
No, my grandfather.
Your grandfather was a king and he was a prince? Yes. Of what state?
Well, you're not a king of a state, you're a king of a town and a tribe and a kingdom.
Okay.
So ours is Rema Kingdom and we have about 40 towns under our kingdom.
Okay. And
the capital is Shagamu, where I'm from.
Shagamu, okay. Cool.
Everybody has to pass through Shagamu before they go
anywhere.
So I said I'm going to start collecting toll gates.
And from there you're the first daughter.
Yeah, first daughter, first child.
So why
I'm the bearer.
Okay, but do you go there often and do you?
I was still there. I just got back last week.
And you see your people?
Yes, the new king that we just had, because my uncle passed the last Kabisi.
Okay.
He just passed last year. And so we have a new Akaribo as well. Well, it's the same ruling family. So we have it's the same lineage, royal lineage, and we have about 5 ruling families.
Okay.
So they're all children of the same progenitor.
Okay. So from NTA, age of 17.
NTV.
But I think I'm forever going to have it in my head.
We need to have to let people know, because there was no NTA at the time.
Okay.
It was Nigerian Television Channel 10. In fact, we started as NBC TV because the two were together. Like you have BBC TV and radio together. And our template was exactly the same as the Beeb.
Okay.
So we came here to train, they came to Nigeria to train.
Okay.
And a lot of people don't know that in the whole world, when it comes to media and television, I'm not even going to say Nigeria, because we were not Nigeria at the time. We were Western region, where we had the Northern and Southern Protectorate. Yeah. So now the Western region, that is the Yoruba states, were the 5th in the world to ever have television. That's why Julie Cooker's that first face
of TV.
Yeah, herself and another beautiful lady called Annika Agbaje Williams. They were the two.
Okay.
First.
So what attracted you to that industry at that age? And how were you
absolutely
exposed?
Nothing. It was an accident. I have in the Adedoyin family, I have 3 older cousins who had been in media, in radio, television. Apparently, my dad, during the colonial days, used to read the news on the rediffusion, something called the rediffusion.
Obviously, radio.
Which radio at the time. So obviously, it was broadcast worldwide, because I think the BBC the British were in charge at the time. But I never knew that my father used to read the news. And then I have an auntie who rose to become a director in radio, Nigeria. I have another first cousin who, a lot of people might remember her, Esther Alade.
Okay.
And she also rose to become a GM of a station before she retired. She's about 68 now. So they were all in radio and television, and I was just happy to be their little cousin.
Yeah.
And then I used to just go, like now you have young people that go to television for one show or the other. So Nigerian television at the time had a show called Youth Forum. And Youth Forum was presented then by a dear friend of mine, Patrick Oke. He's still relevant in the media. And produced by a gentleman called Digimon Luis, who used to act in Village Headmaster. He was the Kabisi in Village Headmaster. But in real life, he was actually a very ace producer.
Okay.
So I had a friend called Nike. She was at the University of Ife. No phones or anything at the time. So we usually would meet there on a Thursday. They recorded on a Thursday and broadcast on Saturday. And she didn't show up. So I was like, oh, where's this girl? Apparently she was writing exams, so she couldn't come. But she was going to read a poem that she had titled Curtsy, just to be courteous,
Yeah.
And the producer says, hey, you're going to read it. I'm like, me?
Forget
it. So I was about to make a beeline for the door of the studio, because it was a live show. Well, it was recorded as live. And there was a live audience, and it was usually fun for young people or like teenagers up to the age of maybe like 19, up to, I think 21 was the oldest, from about age 16, 17. So I was 16 then, just finished, my O level. So, it was fun for us to go. And they came to meet me and said, we've booked the studio. We have to record. We hear when you speak. We think you can do it. I'm like, I can't. I've never done this before. And
then you went ahead
and then he said, just let's put you in one room and this is the script, rehearse, and then we'll take it from there. So I gingerly went and read it over and over and over again, very nervous. And then they put me on there's a little seat. And that was it. And I quickly left, made my way home, forgot about it. Even when I know it was shown on a Saturday, I did not watch it. I was doing something else because I just thought it was rubbish. And then during the week, the gate man just came and said, Princess Mordeun, somebody wants to see you. They're from NTV. I said, I've totally messed up. They've probably come to tell me off. So I kind of looked outside, and then I saw the producer. He didn't look like he was angry, so I said, Uncle Dejima, how are you? And then he said, well, how are you? You just disappeared. You've got this to sign, because apparently then if you have a voucher, and I think it was 25 naira.
Oh, so they gave you a voucher for actually doing...
they give you a bit of money. So it was about 25 naira, and I hadn't collected, so I had to sign it and go to collect it. And then said, there's another letter for you. So that was it, and I was asked to come for auditions. I had about 6 or 7 auditions. That standard was exceptionally high.
A friend of mine said to me, she was watching Ben TV, she said, oh, there's this woman on there and she's so African, she's got her hair short, I just love her look. I'm like, that's my auntie. And I just felt so proud that you were really championing this African... Pan-African. Before we had the Wakanda movement. You were literally there with your short hairstyle and just bold.
Thank you.
And I love that, and I admire that. I admire that in you. I think it's really good that you're in touch with that. And I think with everything that you do, correct me if I'm wrong, that's what you try to put out.
It's very important to me. Identity is a very important thing for any human being.
Yeah.
Marcus Garvey, the father of Pan-Africa, would say, I like to talk about people that I love as if they're still alive. So I do that about my dad as well. And he would say, a people without knowledge of their history or from whence they came are like a tree without roots. And I usually add, they will surely die. But we cannot afford that to happen. We must not die.
Yeah.
We cannot die. We will not die. And that's part of, and I've been a Pan-African from a very young age. I'm from a very proud to say I'm actually from a royal lineage that are purely Pan-African.
Yes.
My grandfather used to sponsor the movement of Africans then that really wanted independence. So from times of the Herbert Macaulays and all that, you know, from Lyra and Samkutis, my dad, my uncles, who Nnamdi Azikiwe is one of the best Pan-Africans that we have in Nigeria. A lot of people don't know that. And they were also very much in touch with Emperor Haile Selassie, another amazing Pan-African who was very conscious and in touch with himself and with spirituality. So I think it's in the genes, and I just believe, you know, Africans, for me, if I was to come again, I would say, Lord, put me through that same royal family and make me an African again. We don't know the worth of who we are. Other races who know try very hard to put us down and malign us and oppress us. And sometimes we cower, and sadly, we also lose touch.
Going back to your gifting, when have you ever felt that, questioned your journey? Like, what am I doing here?
Never questioned my journey.
You've never questioned your journey?
Never questioned my journey. And I say that very boldly and with all humility, never have. There's an innate feeling that when you know I am doing what I've been put here to do. So I've never really, but of course, like any other human being, I have my ups and downs. So sometimes maybe I'm chasing a particular project. And sadly, I must say, my saddest moments have been with Nigeria.
Really?
Very sad.
That's completely put you off.
So that's just one. I'm just saying there's so many, but that one sort of stands out because I'm thinking this was supposed to be for us as a people. Yes, so, you know, we come from a line of strong women, very strong women. Talking about Wakanda and Black Panther, there's a lot of similarities in there for us. For instance, on our mum's side, the women that were the warriors, that they called the Dora Milaje, they actually, they replicated the Dahomey Amazons.
Okay.
And, you know, our grandmoms, they're half Benin Republic. Benin Republic used to be called Dahomey back in the days. So they were the Dahomey, fierce women. And they were the ones that, they were the warriors. They looked after the entire country. That was their job. And they did it well. Yeah. So that's probably part of my genes. And on my dad's side as well, you know, very formidable people, very dignified royals. The fact that we're royals, I always tell people that what we were taught and how we were raised is that royalty is really a privilege. You should know that if God puts you in a royal lineage, He just didn't put you there for nothing's sake. You know, you have a role, and it's about leadership, and leadership is service to humanity. And that got input in me from a very young age.
And I think you put that in me.
I had to.
There was
the day we had a
long
conversation.
And like, do you not know the lineage you come from? Do you not know the women before you, what they have done? You talked about a lady who wrote hymns.
Yes.
And people who have been known for things. And I was just like, until today, sometimes that kind of makes me feel like, okay.
Yeah. So
you owe it to yourself and people that have come before you.
Yes.
Because there are days when I am literally like, what am I doing? Am I on the right track? Is this making sense? Because sometimes projects take a long time to come to the stage that you want it to come to. In between that, you've got to find other means.
Of course.
So it's questioning, but then at the back of my head, I'm thinking, okay, my mum is not here, but there are women who have paved the way before me. So I have no excuse. And I need to bring that
out.
Yeah, that thing out of me. But sometimes I can be a little bit too polite. When you feel like, okay, I don't want to be too fierce. How do you kind of balance it where you're like, okay, I don't want to come out as this controlling.
I know. You know, there's a big difference between pride and arrogance. So you need to take pride in who you are and what God has deposited in you. But you must ensure that you're never arrogant with it. Yeah.
etc. But if you could go back to any age, what age would you go back to and why?
Maybe I'll go back to age 21.
Why? Oh. Did you not get married at 21?
I did.
Oh, okay.
So maybe I'll go back to that age.
And not
marry somebody else. But still do all the things I did.
Okay.
You know, so it's because it was, you know, sometimes when you get, like, I'm 60 now, I'm very fearless. I can talk about anything.
Yeah.
And especially so that other people can also learn. I was in a very abusive relationship. Yeah. In my mind, I was thinking, when you're married and then you divorce, and then I'm in the public eye, I was in the rise in my profession, you know, as a TV person and media person. And also you think, okay, maybe that's how it is, maybe that's what marriage is about. Maybe women got beaten up and that's it. But then it got to a point, I think, that Dora Malaji woman came out, that Dahomey Amazon, you know, that princess came out and said, you know, hell no.
Yeah.
Enough. So I just took my children and ran away.
Amazing.
You know.
And never looked back.
No, because I then, by the grace of God,
yeah,
running my restaurant that you visited me in the 80s. A gentleman walked in with his friends. It was his birthday. They wanted to give him an African meal.
Yeah.
I had the first African restaurant in South London at the time.
Was that Clapham Common?
It was in Clapham Common. And they wanted to treat their friend to a Nigerian meal. And everybody chose easy meals. You know, some of them chose jollof rice, do. And this particular person said, I think I'll have amala. Because he thought, later on he said he thought I could never make it. That the way I looked like this Ajebota girl, this princess. I don't think she can make it.
Yeah.
And I had an open plan kitchen. That's how my restaurant was. I'm not sure that you can remember.
But
when you walk in,
vaguely remember.
You will actually see us cooking and all that. And I did that on purpose so people can see that it was clean food. Everything was done a la carte. And he saw me make. I made it myself. I didn't ask. You know, your sister who worked with me sometimes, or any of my staff to do it. And I think that's how our friendship started. Okay. And we've been together ever since. Ever since. Yeah, history, as I say. Like 32 years now.
What made him pick you, or what made you pick him?
I think for him, he found a friend. And I think likewise for me, I found a friend as well who loved me for who I was, but also who allowed me to be me.
But let's bring it to you. You recently turned 60.
Yes.
And
senior citizen.
Is this when you get your free bus pass?
Yes. Thank you. I've got to go phone them. I need my bus pass.
And you've been celebrating. You're planning on celebrating every month. Yes. And you said because our mothers didn't make it to a certain age.
No, my mother, before 58, she was gone. Yeah. My auntie, your mum, I don't even think I think she was 40.
She was in her 40s.
She was 48 or something like that. So for me, it was, when you're still growing up, at the back of your mind, it's, you pray, you believe in God, but it niggles you. Yeah. Am I going to see this age? People need to know that these things are real, we're human. Yeah. So that fear factor is there. And when it was getting nearer, each morning I wake up, I go on the ground and I bow and I say, okay, thank you, Lord. And on the eve of my birthday, I wouldn't lie to you, I just sat up on my bed, playing some worship songs. I didn't want to sleep. Why? Because I didn't want to not wake up. Oh, wow. So eventually I think I did eventually, the nature will take over. So I'm actually teary-eyed when I'm sharing this. And I just, I slept off. And a phone call,
You're going to make me cry.
A phone call woke me up to say happy birthday. Yeah. And it was like, wow.
You made it.
60.
You're here, alive and kicking. We've got more years. At least another 20 years.
Amen.
Because you look 50 to me.
You're so kind.
No, but you do. You're so funky with everything that you do.
I like to talk to young people, both male and female. Yeah. Life is what you make it. life is what you make it. If you don't do anything with your life, then your life will be taken away. Young people who are killing themselves, the knife crime, that is so sad. And it's always the African child against another African child. You start thinking, why are we doing that to each other? Why are we trying to eliminate each other? It's like we have our own inside genocide. Why are we doing that? And some of them have the most amazing future, because we mentor a lot of young people and we get to talk to them. And I just want to really appeal to mothers especially, fathers as well, but mothers, we have such a great job on our hands. Mothers need to ensure that they are friends with their children. I mean, there's some of us that we lost our mothers. We wish we had them, so we had to become mature at such a young age. But if you still have, that moment with your children, try and make time. It's good to go to parties. It's good to do 3 jobs at a time because we all have to pay bills. But all for what? When you then lose that child to some senseless killing. So this 60th birthday for me is about giving back. And all I can give back is what I've learned and what I would love to share, with our community and the rest of the world. All children matter.
What would your parting advice be? Especially to me on this journey, media, broadcasting, journalism, not knowing who people are, trying to trust everyone.
My parting shot will be for us to be true to ourselves. Live your own truth and make sure your truth is really true. So we should just ensure that whatever it is that God gives us, we are humble, we are grateful for it, and we're content.
Fantastic. Yay!